New technology is very sexy to hear and deploy and use, but at the end of the day, IoT is all about increasing our efficiency and productivity. We all know about the internet. The internet connects, people to each other and to information. If you distill what internet means, it's that. It connects people to each other and to information. Internet of Things, or sometimes called Internet of Everything, connects everything else. What excites me the most is when you have this deployed in quantity, in masses, the amount of data that you get. For example, how does the weather affect your power consumption? How does the weather, for example, affect the number of ice cream bought at 7-Eleven? How does different days of the week affect the traffic, the pollution that we have, or work from home? How does that help? Congestion and all of these things. No? So all of these things, the correlation between different data points, which were hard to get before, because you have to manually do it. The sources of data is from different places. IoT brings all of those data together in one place. When you have all of this information and utilize that and use analytics to glean useful information from it, then you become more efficient and productive. It'll help us make the Philippines more competitive globally. But at the beginning, adoption is coming from large deployments, and these are, the ones that we've been seeing in the Philippines as smart cities, smart buildings, smart industry. And because of our president and his goal to make Philippines become independent in terms of food, we're seeing a lot of applications in agriculture as well. So Pag-asa and the Department of Agriculture are deploying weather stations for us to better understand and monitor weather conditions, right? So with precision agriculture, and this is where the Internet of Things can contribute, you can now know how much fertilizers to apply where. The same thing with irrigation. So how much water does different places in your fields would need to make it more productive? Us humans, consume a lot of data. When we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, wherein the machines don't really need to see pictures, they don't need to hear words, they work in bits and bytes. It requires very little bandwidth. For example, a temperature humidity sensors, don't send like kilobytes of data. It sends 4 bytes of data. 4 bytes. That's it's very small. And this is where LoRaWAN and LPWAN comes into play. The technology is made specifically for Internet of Things. So this technology sacrifices bandwidth to gain more range and more efficient power consumption. A plain temperature humidity sensor, which is simple, but you think it's very simple, but in reality there's a lot of applications for it in different industries. A temperature humidity sensor that has a battery life of like 2, 3, 5 years. So wirelessly sending data every 10-15 minutes would cost you between 3,000 to 10,000 pesos. So that's the promise of IoT. It democratizes the cost of the technology. Temperature humidity sensors are not new, but the solutions were proprietary before, and then they're expensive. And if you want to upgrade, you need to go to your specific vendor, and they can, because they control the market, they can price it the way they want it. But IoT is all about open standards, so open integration. So you can integrate different sensors from different vendors easily. My background is not I'm not an ECE. My graduate degree is, I have a master's in business. But I'm very passionate about technology. So the next 6 years I had to solder, work on hardware development kits to make devices and learn about the technology. Officially, Packetworx started in 2018, but from my journey, it started way before that. So this was around 12 years ago. I was waiting for a parking slot at SM Mega Mall, and I saw those parking sensors, and I thought to myself that these are, it has pipes and cables and stuff. If I take out the cables and make them wireless, I'll have a much better parking solution. And from there, I had to look for the technology that would make it wireless and low power. And that's when I encountered LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN is a long-range wide area network. It connects IoT devices, to the internet wirelessly and at low power. So after researching that technology, I immediately decided that hey, this doesn't just apply to parking sensors; it applies to other devices as well. So the main technology is the LP1. It's an enabler for IoT to happen. We're the only players right now in the Philippines. This is why our company had to also roll out, in partnership with the telcos, roll out IoT infrastructure. But what excites me the most is AI is happening now. It's very big, it's a big buzzword. But couple that with availability of data from not just digital sources, but also physical sources coming from IoT, it opens up a lot of possibilities. I'm hoping and dreaming. Philippines has been known as a provider for labor. So instead of exporting labor, why don't we produce finished goods in the Philippines? It doesn't need a very advanced technology that right now TSMC is the only one doing for really high-end nanoscale chips, right? But it's very doable in the Philippines, and I'm hoping and I'm dreaming that in the next 5 years, Philippines could be an exporter for this technology. The world is changing, and the change is accelerating. I know that it's hard to follow new trends and technologies. Data is fundamental to change, and the IoT supplies a lot of that.